What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic Friday or whenever you're watching this. So, I got served this beautiful, very official looking letter from Towler Smith LLP in Los Angeles, California. Violations of the California Trap and Trace Electronic Register Statute. So apparently it's like a bunch of stuff like United States Director of National Intelligence, the reason explained, da 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 da. And so then apparently there is a trap and trace law in California. I've never heard of trap and trace. I don't know what that is. But it's a device or process that captures the incoming electronic or all impulses that identify the originating number or other dialing, routing, addressing, or signaling information reasonably likely to identify the source of a wire or electronic communication, but not the contents of a communication. So this sounds like something that the government here is doing all the time, but of course the public is not allowed to do this. And so our investigation has revealed that www.simplero.com deploys trap and trace processes in order to identify anonymous users without their consent. In particular, your website has embedded a TikTok web beacon ID CBN blah, 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 to trace users. The TikTok web beacon captures electronic impulses originating on your site in order to identify the source of the communication, including the identity and geolocation of every website visitor. Okay. And so then they have a screenshot of like the sources. If you can see this on the site, apparently, seeing that there's a TikTok token there. Your use of the above trap and trace processes without obtaining the consent of individuals communicating with your website subjects you to civil liability under California law, such and such, which provides statutory damages of $5,000 per violation, as well as injunctive relief, which I don't know what that means. It is not a necessary prerequisite to an action pursuant to this section that the plaintiff have suffered or be threatened with actual damages. So, accordingly, our lawsuit shall seek statutory damages and injunctive for plaintiff and the class in the amount of $5,000 per violation, injunctive relief, and any other relief available under the law. Despite the conduct detailed above, my client is willing to entertain a pre-litigation resolution of this matter that may better serve the interests of the parties. If you would like to discuss a pre-litigation resolution to this matter, please contact me at the number or email above no later than May 2, 2025. All right. So apparently they're making this the plaintiff is one Lawrence Schallert, a California consumer who has recently visited your website at simplero.com. Based on the investigation, we have done that. And so plaintiff intends to pursue a class action based on the violations detailed herein. So this guy, Lawrence Schallert, wants to do a class action suit and wants $5,000 per violation. So that could be pretty damaging. So there you go, people. There you go. So, this is very interesting. So I asked Grok and I asked Grok and I asked X, and yeah, apparently this is a thing. Apparently this is a thing now. And as a business owner, you're supposed to know that in 2024, let me see here. And what is this? So yeah, so here, apparently in August of last year, the California federal court rules that merely having the TikTok pixel on your website can violate CA's wiretapping law. And so people are saying, come the fuck on. Got 1 million CA visitors on your site. Enjoy $5 billion in exposure. $5,000 per violation. If your site uses this advanced matchmaking functionality from TikTok and collects data from just 10,000 California visitors, that's $50 million in potential liability. I don't know if we do this. We've actually never. I just put that pixel on there because at some point we might want to run TikTok ads, and I figured we'd gather the like we'd prime it. I've been hearing that TikTok ads are doing amazing. So I figured I'd put that on there, but it wasn't something that I thought about. I definitely wasn't paying attention to California court rulings in this. So yeah. It says here that this plaintiff's firm has already been super active in getting these settlement payments from website operators. I cannot imagine how many trucks full of paper will be backing up to his office to satisfy all the demand letters they're going to print and send to every company now. The sun is shining for now and hay will be made. So yeah. I had a client get hit with one of these. My client even had a disclosure on their site as required, but the plaintiff claimed the pixel fired too soon. Some similarities to ADA suits, well-intentioned, but it will put mom and pop websites out of business. Also is a shakedown. So of course it's a shakedown, right? Of course it is. Like it is, I don't know who this guy Lawrence Schallert is, but when I searched Lawrence Schallert, you see that there are Lawrence Schallert v. Super ATV LLC, and this is, I think this is the same. No, it's interesting. So here, violation of California. So this thing comes up. So let's get rid of that. Let's see here, modal. Fade and whatever, violations of the California trap and trace law, right? So it's the same thing. So this guy has sued for this exact thing in the past. So I think it's fair to assume that this person is just like searching the web, and maybe he's probably wrote some bot script or whatever. You can see here there's Lawrence Schallert versus Sondermind, and I don't know what that is. So this is someone, there's also someone, Cowboy National, that, I don't know, sued this person. So I'd be interested to see read more about that. I'm not too experienced in all this legal stuff. I hate lawyers and everything about it, but you can't obviously avoid it when someone is threatening you with a class action lawsuit. So yeah, there's that. So several aspects to this. Obviously, the fact that there is a law like this that allows someone to just sue people randomly and like it's $5,000 per violation without this person actually suffering any harm. Like it's like the spam troll, what is the patent trolls, right? Like they get some sort of patent and then they can just sue companies, and obviously, most people are just going to want to settle, and then it's a shakedown. It's a shakedown record. That's what it is. And the fact that the law allows for that, like the fact that, there would be laws that allow for shakedown like this with no good reason is crazy. The fact that, that then a judge rules that this is indeed a violation. Now like the law is interpreted differently in this way, and then the law doesn't get changed to make it clear that that's absolutely insane. That's crazy. It brings me back to the whole EU cookie banner law thing. So apparently like California requires you to have this like cookie consent banner thing as well, which, being a European, whenever I travel in Europe, it's such a fucking nuisance. It's such a fucking nuisance. Every day, I don't give a fuck. Okay, can I just say, I don't give a fuck. Like Pixel Me, Cookie Me, I don't give a shit. But every single website makes it so now I have to click something before I get to the thing. What is the total productivity that steals from everybody, right? We all, sure, if we visited one website every other week, fine, no big deal. But that's not how life works, right? We visit, how many websites do I visit in a day? Maybe 100? That's like 100 cookie consent banners that I have to click on. It's idiotic. It's completely bonkers. And yeah, then you can just be like, okay, so then just don't track. But like, why do people track? Some people track for nefarious reasons. Clearly we didn't. Like, I mean, and TikTok might be doing bad shit, but we weren't doing bad shit with any of it. So yes, there are people that will track things for nefarious purposes, but let's go after that and not after every single person who is trying to visit a website, or every single person who is running a website. Like, we're just in business here trying to do good work, trying to create the best software we can and support entrepreneurs and getting their stuff out. And we have to deal with and pay attention to a court ruling in California that might all of a sudden expose us to liabilities of millions and millions and millions of dollars. That's crazy. The whole point of the European community, the thing that came before the EU, and that, as far as I know, was actually kind of good as opposed to the EU, which is awful, was that we need to make it easier to trade. We don't need to have fewer trade barriers. But California is kind of the opposite of that. Like, California is I don't know, I was going to make some metaphor, but California is like with Prop 65 and with shit like this, it just makes it so complicated to do trade within America. It's kind of crazy. And even like the taxes, the sales taxes, the local sales taxes, all that shit is so complicated. And then when you try to actually hire remote workers, hire a team all over the country, that's a nightmare too. Every state that I need to hire some person in as a W-2, I need to start filing a tax return for the company and personally in that state, in every state. And now that impacts my what I need to do in terms of sales tax in that state as well. So it's like, it just makes everything so complicated. And this is the problem, is politicians with no skin in the game, they make these laws they're not the ones paying the consequences. Actually, on the contrary, if they pass a law that opens up a possibility of abuse like this, of like a shakedown racket, right? And like the patent trolls, they actually benefit from that, because I bet you that some of these law firms that are going after this is like ambulance chasers. Like, some of these law firms and some of these plaintiffs that are going after this, they're probably donating to some people. Maybe they're donating to, I don't know if you can donate to judges, but if you can, I'm sure they do. Or they'll donate to politicians that keep those laws in place. And this is the imbalance of the whole system. Like, when they took away the right to take a bottle of water on board an airplane. Like, we still have that. How many years has it been? Like 20 years or something? Where you can't take a freaking bottle of water onto an airplane? How crazy is that? But now, all of these stores inside the airports who sell water at like $5 a bottle or $8 a bottle or whatever it is, they're like, no, they're more active in lobbying to keep those rules on the books than we are, all of us who are inconvenienced in both time and money to pay for this garbage. Like, we don't organize. If we organized, imagine that we all came together and just like, we're all going to just bring like 10 bottles of waters with us through security, and we're just going to stand there until they like either forcefully take them from us, or they refuse to, or they let us through. Like, we're just going to all do that, everybody, all on the same day. Like, then, and we're going to keep doing it until they change the law. Like, that would change some shit, right? But we have to inconvenience ourselves, and we have to organize and actually coordinate, which is near impossible. And so the laws stay on the books and nobody gives a fuck, because there's just not enough people to care to revert it, because the people who benefit from it are better organized, and they're fewer, but they're better organized, and they will pay some people off. This is absolutely, it's freaking crazy. The other thing I was thinking is that this person, Lauren Schaller in this case, who does this, what kind of mind bugs does a person like that have, right? I feel, well, let me say first, like, for me, it definitely triggers some stuff, right? There's like, did I do something wrong? I don't think I did something wrong. I mean, clearly, like, legally, there might be something wrong that like something that we crossed the law, but I didn't know. And so I didn't do anything morally wrong. So I did what I did, and there are some consequences. And now we got to deal with that, like whatever the physics of it is. I don't know why I was singled out. Like, I've asked my friends about it, and they're all like, this is fucking crazy. I've never heard about something like this. Like, one of my friends works for a TikTok ad agency. Like, they specialize in TikTok. All their people are doing TikTok. Never heard of anything like this, right? So I don't know why, like, my little company here, it's like, was singled out. I have no idea. It's so crazy, right? That like, You want more people like me who are just pouring everything in. We're not like raking in tons of cash, because I pour everything back into the company and the product to serve my clients. And I don't have VC funding. I don't have any outside, like we're literally like operating at a pretty close to a break-even point. So this is going to come out of that, right? Whatever this ended up costing us, whether it's lawyers or a settlement fee or whatever it is, it's going to come out. It's like, I'm going to have to probably fire some people, or I don't know, like or we're going to have to take on a loan and then pay it out over a long time. I don't know what we're going to have to, like, I have no idea how this is going to play out, but it's not like we have a stash of cash or a big VC firm or something behind us that can just fork over cash to Mr. Lawrence and his law firm. Like, it's not a thing. So I don't know how we're going to deal with that. We're going to have to figure it out. Hopefully we don't have to go bankrupt and shut the whole fucking thing down because of this, right? Like, I don't think so. I don't think it's in anybody's interest, but you never know. It's a class action lawsuit. It might kill us. Who knows? Which would be a shame. Like, that's like thousands of small businesses that all of a sudden are in the shitter, or maybe someone steps in and buys the source code, and then who the fuck knows what will happen then, right? But that's the exposure. And it's kind of crazy that as a company, this is something that you have to deal with. Like, we want more people, small businesses creating companies and doing great services for people. I always think about it when there's a coffee shop in my building that Alice runs and owns, and she works so fucking hard for that. Like, she creates this place of community, and she like shops, and she puts in so much time, and like deals with team and supply chain, and when someone calls in sick, like, she has to step in and do that. Or when she had an employee ghost her at one point, just like not show up and not respond to anything, she's like, all right, so then she's got to go in there and be behind the desk and all. It's so much fucking work, and she's not making bank on this coffee shop, but she's providing a really valuable service. Like, it's a community place for the building and for people in the neighborhood that come and hang out, and we talk to each other and how's it going, and like they have a little chat, and it's like they talk to her and they talk to each other. It's such a beautiful thing to do. It's such a selfless thing to do, to be an entrepreneur and create something that has value to other people. Because the only way that you stay in business is that you create something that has value to other business, unless you're at a point where you can actually, like, or unless you're doing what these guys are doing, or unless you're like bending the law or buying politicians. And there's definitely ways to play this game in an uncool way. But for most entrepreneurs, that's not what they do. It's not what we're here to do, right? Like, why would we do that? It makes no sense. All right, need some water. So, all right, so for me, I did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I had a TikTok pixel on my site. Like, lots of people have TikTok pixels on their site. For some reason, this guy wanted to, shake me down for some money. He might succeed. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. So then the next thing that pops into my head is like, I'm not going to be okay, right? Like, he's going to take my company from me, or it's going to cost me a lot of money or something. I don't know. But the mind will start a story that says, I'm not going to be okay. Something that's going to happen. Here's the fact. Here's the truth. Do I know what's going to happen? Nope, I don't. Right? I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen. It might cost me zero. It might cost me a lot. It might cost me a lot of time, a lot of money. My entire business, my livelihood. I might have to move, like, leave the country potentially, because my visa's through this company. So, like, a lot of things might happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot know what's going to happen. So, yeah, we'll just have to play it out and just be willing to live in the uncertainty, right? It's not like 2 days ago, before this happened. I got this last night. Before this happened, I was in the same exact uncertainty. I just didn't know this piece. And now there's another uncertainty. Here's a crazy part, by the way. Here's a crazy part. I'm working with different healers, and one of them is it's an amazing lady named Donna, and she said this the other day. It's pretty, like, when was this? This was April 7th, which is, I suck at calendar. That was Monday night. So Monday night, I had a session with Donna where just towards the end, in passing, she says this.
And there was one point, I don't know if it's somebody you know or somebody that you will be telling you something about a court case. I don't know what that is, but that also came up in the healing, and I don't know where that's coming from. Just going to mention it instead of letting it go, because sometimes you might hear about something, and just know that it's in the highest good or favor of the person who's talking about it. I don't know why I'm saying that. Sometimes when I'm working, I get interesting influxes of things. Learn to say them and not withhold them.
Isn't that pretty wild? Isn't that pretty wild? It's like, I have not, like, I don't know anybody who's in a court case. I've never been in a court, like, proceeding myself. The only thing that comes close is years ago. That's not what I wanted to do. Years ago, when I got a cease and desist letter from Zendesk, where I knew the founder and CEO of Zendesk, Mikkel Svein, and I was applying for a trademark for Zen Billing, which was the name of Simplero before it became Simplero, and then they objected to that trademark, and because they were called Zendesk, and so they figured that Zen Billing was like not allowed. And so I emailed him and I said, "Hey, Mikkel, what's going on? Can we just talk about this?" And then he said, "Yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back from the lawyers. Give me a minute." And then I followed up with him several times. And then 5 weeks later, I get a threatening letter from his lawyer saying, like, I need to cease and desist using the name Zen Billing immediately. Like, all right, that's my business. Like, dude, Mikkel, you've partied in my kitchen. Like, you could just have like called me and said, "Hey, dude, bro, like we're about to go public. The investment firm really wants to secure the name Zendesk, and they have problems with you being Zen Billing. Can we work something out?" And I'd be like, "Sure. Like, would you mind, like, would you be okay with paying me 10 grand for just the rebrand and like a new domain name and all that stuff?" And we could have been, you know, settle it that way. But no, like threatening letters from lawyers and like blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna change my name. I'm not gonna fight them. They've got millions of dollars in VC money. We're just like tiny company here, all bootstrapped. Not gonna do that. So anyway, what I like about what Donna said there is that it's what did she say? It's like in the highest good for of everyone. So I hope that that's true, and I trust that that's what it's going to be. I remember the in previous times in my life when I've been through things that were scary and challenging, I've reminded myself of Louise Hay phrase of everything is everything is turning out for my highest good, or something like that. All is well. Everything is turning out for my highest good. And also just my general belief that everything that happens in life happens for me. Everything that happens in life happens for my awakening, to help me become more of the soul that I am. So maybe the purpose of this is to step up my game and just make so much fucking money that this is irrelevant. It's just a nuisance. Like, you just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's have my lawyer deal with that, and they'll do a settlement, and we'll pay whatever it is, like 100 grand, 50 grand, like 10 grand. I don't know what the number is, but like, just fucking like have someone deal with that. If you look at something like Donald Trump, like the amount of lawsuits that he has had thrown against him, right? And they would probably like they tried to fucking murder him twice, 3 times, right? And he just like whatever, like it just, it impacted him for sure. You see him emboldened, right? But he's just like, all right, like the lawsuits, especially, they were trying to lock him away for life. And then they were also trying to pass a law that said that they could revoke Secret Service protection from a former president if he was jailed. And so, like, it seems like they were probably trying to Epstein him, right? Put him away and then have him commit suicide in jail. And like, mysteriously, the cameras weren't working that day or something. So, and he just, like, if he had lost, he probably wouldn't be alive today. So I don't know, maybe today, but it was pretty dire, and he took it in stride. So I choose to believe that like, I don't know what's going to happen. I trust that I'm going to be okay no matter what happens. I've been okay with everything that happened so far, so I trust that that's going to be the case in the future as well. And and that I choose to believe that everything happens for me and everything is there. The purpose of everything that happens in my life is to support me in realizing the soul that I am. Right? I am the energy that creates my life. I'm not a victim of circumstance. So that's how I look at it. That's how I go into this. Um, so speaking of Lawrence, like, I'm just thinking, like, what kind of mindset and mind bugs must you have in order to make this your living? And I'm just hallucinating this. I don't know this person. He might be a great person, a great father, a great husband, just a like full of life and joy. But chances are maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I'm just guessing. Right? Because if your job is to go look for random entrepreneurs doing great work, and then just see if you can find a TikTok pixel so that you can shake them down for money. What does that tell you? And by the way, something that came to mind for me was that reading Phil Knight, in Phil Knight Shoe Dog, he talks about Adidas using the law to come after Nike. So I remember him say, so I read Shoe Dog, which is awesome. Yeah. So there were like, Adidas was fighting Nike, trying to, like, what does it say? Leverage patent and trademark laws to try to slow them growth, targeting design and innovations Nike were bringing to market. And there's something, there's something about some random like archaic international trade law or something that they applied. And this is something that I think happens all the time in industry as well, that your competitors will specifically point, like, will try to hurt you this way. I don't know if that's the case here. I don't know. I wouldn't like speculate on that, but it's something that does happen, and again points to the fact that the law is fucking broken. Like, the law is really broken. I mentioned the other day on the live stream the 3 Felonies a Day book. 3 Felonies a Day. Here, how the feds target the innocent. This is related. It's not the same, right? But where there's so many laws on the books that any normal person will commit. It says here, the average professional in this country wakes up in the morning, goes to work, comes home, eats dinner, and then goes to sleep, unaware that he or she has likely committed several federal crimes that day. Why? The answer lies in the very nature of modern federal crime laws, which have exploded in number but also become impossibly broad and vague. And so it's a big problem with the law, right? We need to fix that. Like, we need to if we want to have more innovation, like, this is something that we need to fix as a country. We want to have more entrepreneurship, more innovation. Like, this is no good. But let's look at the likely mind bugs. So this list right here is inspired by Peter Crone. He talks about like 10 contexts, and he doesn't tell you what they are. You have to kind of guess at them. So I've been guessing at them. We're all waiting for his book to come out where he's going to say it. But like, this is, yeah, I'm not enough, I'm not okay kind of thing, right? So like, there's something wrong with me in some way. I'm bad, right? I'm not worthy. I'm not wanted. I don't have enough. So these are some of the mind bugs that I'm imagining someone like this person would have. Like, if you're someone who loves life, and you know that the God-given gift that you are, that your mere presence is, right? That, and the wound that you're here to heal for you and then share with others for their healing. And you live in a state of abundance, and you live in a state of belonging, of feeling wanted, of feeling desired, feeling worthy, of feeling like you are enough just who you are, would you make this, would you do something like this, right? If there's just a real thing, you just be like, hey, dude, you're violating the, like, you should probably put a cookie banner on this thing. You're like, oh, shit, I didn't realize. All right, let's put a cookie banner on it. But that's clearly not what's happening, right? This is clearly a shakedown. It's a business model. There are people who make money this way. This is how they do it, like the ambulance chasers. But in order to do this, like, which of these mind bugs do you have, must you have? Like, who must you be to yourself? Who must you be identified with? Definitely scarcity, right? Definitely scarcity. Definitely not seeing your own worth as a human. And so that I feel compassion for this person. I feel compassion. How can you not feel compassion? It's you can't live like this and then go to bed feeling good about yourself. It's just not possible. It's not possible. If you feel worthy, if you are connected to your divinity and your creative life force, like, you want to go make something. You don't want to, like, shake down other people for having done nothing wrong, but they broke some law that, like, again, none of my friends have ever heard of this. So I feel compassion. Like, I'm thinking of offering free coaching to this guy as a part of a settlement. Like, let's help you find actual love. Find freedom, find joy. Find that love for life. Find what your creative urge is. What is your longing in your heart? What do you want to contribute here? Right? How do you want to make life better for other people? That's what gives us that's what gives our lives meaning, is when we do something that contributes to other people, when we make other people's lives better. That's what feels amazing. I love that I get to do that every day. I don't need to, like, I love money, not saying that, but, like, success is here today in that I get to do incredible work that I love with people that I love every single day. There's another point I wanted to make here, which it's like come back to me a couple times and then slips because I'm in the middle of a sentence. Let me see if I can think. Was it about the law? What was it about? I don't remember right now. Yeah. Yeah, I trust that, I don't remember what it was, but let me just say this. I really trust that this is calling me to something, right? Everything that happens in the world or for us, every circumstance is there to remind us of who we truly are. And so for me to step into who I truly am and deal with this from a place of soul, of knowing that I'm abundance, knowing that I'm safe, knowing that the future's uncertain, but, you know, I'm going to be okay because who I am is not this physical body. It's not, you know, this meat suit. Who I am is pure spirit. So nothing can harm me because I cannot die. Who I am truly cannot die, cannot be hurt, right? Because I'm spirit. So that's how I'm taking this. And yeah, let's see what happens in the material world with this whole thing. Yes, let me see. Was there anything else? Yeah. I found this article too. Federal ruling sets precedent for trap and trace software class actions in California. So this was July last year, and so I guess as an entrepreneur, you have to just be aware of stuff like that. It's kind of crazy to me. I think if we were really serious about this privacy stuff, right, then cookie banners and laws like this are just not the way to do it. Like, how would we actually solve it if we meant it? Like, why not have browsers? Like, wouldn't it be much smarter if I could tell my browser, hey, I'm okay with these kinds of cookies, but not those kinds of cookies. And then the browser and the website, like, maybe there's like you have to code the cookies or the things that you do on the website, the pixels or whatever, with some attributes, and we just build that into the HTML, and we build it into the browsers. Like, browsers are constantly evolving. We just build it in there. Then I tell my browser I like these cookies and these kinds of tracking, and I don't like these kinds of tracking, and I just tell the browser, and then that's it. No cookie banners, no consent. Like, I've already given consent. That's how I've given consent. That's it. We're done. Right. And so that way we don't need to build it into, like, not every mom and pop shop, like Alice, who has a coffee shop in my building, if she has a website and she does something on that website that violates some, like, maybe there's some, remember that penguin nation that people mock Trump for having imposed 10% tariffs on? Maybe that nation decides, you know what? If there's a visitor from our island that visits your website, they have XYZ rights, and now they can sue you. Like, what is, like, I just make a website. You choose to fucking visit that website. That's your choice. That's your fucking choice, right? I don't, like, it's not my problem that you visit my website. You chose to visit that website. And so how is it my responsibility as someone who runs a website to know what every single jurisdiction across the entire planet thinks that I need to adhere to? Can you see how bonkers that is? Like, when the whole EU VAT thing took place about 10 years ago, I think it was actually exactly 10, like January 1st, 2015 or something. It's like, I run a company that's not in the EU, and now I have to charge VAT. I have to, do IP address lookup, and I have to retain all these records for 5 years for any sale I make to someone who might be in the EU. And then if I get it wrong, there are huge, hefty fines. I was like, how does the EU have any jurisdiction over a company based in the US? Like, I don't understand how that works. I run a company in the US. I just host a website. It's just there. I didn't do fucking shit. It's just sitting there listening. It's literally just sitting there on a server listening. It's not coming into your house. Like, the website is not going to your phone saying, oh, I'm putting myself on your phone. Like, no, you have to type in the URL on your phone to go visit the website. And now you have a right to sue because you visited the website from some jurisdiction that has some rule somewhere. Can you see how fucking crazy that is? And literally every little township, city, anywhere in the world could come up with whatever the fuck rules they want. And now they can claim that they have some sort of jurisdiction over you. And maybe the reason that the EU can do it with an American company is because there's some treaties or something that says, well, we honor each other's laws in some way. And then, like, as a European, the EU can come after an American company and blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's something like that. I mean, it seems like clearly there is, because the EU is coming after, Facebook and X and whatnot with billion-dollar lawsuits. But I don't understand how this is workable, guys. It doesn't make any sense. Like, then what I would say is, like, use a browser. Like, let's establish some kind of labeling for these pixels and use a browser that lets you choose what you want. And then, but people who make laws are fucking demented sometimes. I don't know what it is. I think there's a mind bug there that, like, they want control. They like to control shit. Like why? Like, what is the point of this? Right? It's like they're just upset with stuff, and they don't like creativity. They don't like innovation. They don't like other people doing shit. So they want to find a way to stop them. But they're not looking for, how do we find the simplest way that we can, like, I'm all for protecting consumers and, like, privacy. I think the ship's kind of sailed on the privacy thing. I'm sorry. And I don't know what the point is exactly, but to some extent, I get it. I get the sentiment. But we got to come up with ways to do it that are not fucking insane. Like the GDPR is crazy. Crazy. It took me hours, like hundreds of hours, to figure out what the fuck it was supposed to do. If they could just tell me, I'm supposed to make it work, but nobody can tell me. And then I need to hire lawyers who also don't know, because we won't know until it's been litigated. But the litigation could cost you, like, I don't know, billions of dollars. So, like, what's someone, like, they're just not thinking it through. Either they're not very smart, or they just don't give a fuck, or they just like to control stuff. I'm hallucinating, but that's my hallucination. I don't think these are well people. Meaning, I think there's some things a little screwed up in some of their brains sometimes. Meaning they have mind bugs, like we all do, and it's innocent. But the thing about mind bugs is they're innocent, they're not harmless. They can cause a lot of fucking harm. And we've just created these like massive piles of garbage that called laws, like the whole GDPR debacle and like the California privacy whatever law and all, like these are monsters. And the whole 3 felonies a day, the federal crime code, it's not tenable. And what it allows is for a class of people who make it their business to hurt other people and hinder innovation. And it just becomes cost of doing business. But it doesn't have to be this way, people. It doesn't have to be this way. But we have to start asking for something better. And I think there's a tendency also amongst some consumers to just hate companies and not differentiate between the behemoths like Facebook, which are, spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to rig an election, or spending millions of dollars lobbying Congress and trying to pass laws, and they want to make it more complicated because they have the lawyers and the staff to handle those complicated roles, and they know that smaller competitors don't. So I think the ordinary consumer doesn't get that these laws, the ones that actually get hurt are the small businesses like mine, like my clients. I have 2,500 clients that are all tiny businesses. Every one of them could be put out of business by some stupid shit like this. Every one of them. And it's just it's just the risk of doing business is that you can be doing everything right and have come from a really good place and like not hurt or harm anybody and still be exposing yourself to a crazy, like potentially $1 billion exposure like this. It's we can do better. We can do better, and we must do better. So with that was my fun time here on this Thursday night, Friday morning. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.